In today's video, I am going to be breaking down HDIV. It's basically an artificial intelligence enhanced US high dividend ETF. So let's get down, let's check this out. So really quickly, this company has a few different artificial intelligence ETFs. They're actually quite interesting and I will probably eventually really break them down, mainly because I am a massive nerd when it comes to AI. But first off, the fund summary is optimized and actively managed by artificial intelligence technology. This enhanced US high dividend ETF invests in US large cap stocks by finding the right balance between price returns and high dividend yield. The fund seeks long-term total returns through regular dividend income and capital appreciation. So it does hold 100 stocks, and that's generally where they would like to hold, and the number of stocks they'd like to hold. And the expense ratio is 0.75, which to me seems a bit high considering a computer is the one who is investing and not a real human. However, at the same time, quite interesting because it is sort of in line with covered call strategies, yet it's not a covered call strategy. Most actively managed ETFs are usually in that 0.3, 0.4 return range. So that's really interesting to me. So why would you invest in HDIV? Well, it accesses a broad range of high dividend yield US large cap companies, and it also seeks to gain additional alpha factors for higher price returns. So it hasn't really been around all that long. However, just like everything over the past year, it's also exploded. So it's really hard to say what the fund performance will be in the future until we look at what stocks it actually holds, or at least its larger holdings anyways. However, its largest holdings is Johnson & Johnson being number one, which is no real big surprise. Walmart, Home Depot, Procter & Gamble, Adobe, Pfizer, Cisco Systems, as well as Verizon, Intel, and PepsiCo. The only one that I am really actually worried about is J&J, even though it is the largest holding. They seem to be not having great legal times right now when it comes to their issues with the vaccine and a few other things. However, they're a strong company, and I would expect them to continue with the strong performance that they have recently had. Now, keep in mind that Johnson & Johnson is, of course, in that biomedical field, so keep that in mind. Pfizer is also a massive company for the future because they are starting to get into that CRISPR technology as well, which is going to be the future. In fact, I was reading an article the other day saying that CRISPR, that technology itself, is going to be a $300 billion business by 2030. So that's quite substantial. Now, it does pay a dividend. It pays it roughly every quarter, and what you are seeing is a dividend that is generally between that 6 and 8% range. Again, they're trying to give an 8% dividend over a year. However, at the same time, it's still a new ETF, and I would really think, considering that it's holding American stocks, that it would be probably closer to that 4 to maybe 5% range. However, keep in mind this is a new ETF. It's really only been over a year since it's been started on the stock market. So we don't really have that much of a history to kind of predict the future, especially when it comes to this artificial intelligence ETF style investing. I personally am holding off until I see at least 2 or 3 years of basically what happens, because at that point I want to see if the AI is going to be as good as a human, which it probably will be, at least eventually. Now, even though I am huge into AI and I really like AI, artificial intelligence type stuff, this to me just makes zero sense. But for people who, of course, like this type of artificial intelligence investing, then of course you will probably understand this a lot more than me. However, at the same time, us as humans, we don't usually go through this much of a data set to invest, yet AI does. So maybe it just may be the future of investing. And this next slide is basically explaining the different nodes and things that the artificial intelligence looks at. Again, it's, to me, I don't go into this much research myself. However, Of course, AI does. There's all of the dividends that it's paid so far. Its first dividend was paid back in June 25th of 2020, and since then we can see year over year that there was a decrease in that dividend. However, when we start looking into the future, we'll really have to pay attention to see if the dividend continues to increase. Overall, I would personally just hold off and wait maybe a year or two to invest in an ETF like this or other artificial intelligence ETFs. They seem like the future because, of course, AI can think faster and react faster than us humans. Us humans also have emotions when it comes to stocks. We may hold a certain stock forever, even though another stock or another company may outperform the one that we currently hold, just because that one that we currently hold has done so well for us that we are emotionally connected to that individual company. Is that a good way to invest? It can be. You can still make money, but at the same time, AI doesn't have feelings as of right now, and AI can then make you possibly a bigger return. But as of right now, we as humans, we just look at things like PE ratios. Is that stock cheap or more expensive? While an AI can go ridiculously in depth and could potentially in the future forecast the future of different stocks. So it's an interesting way to really invest, but again, it's at this point too new for myself personally to invest in it just because of the unknowns. Anyways, that's my thoughts. That's my analysis and review of this ETF. I hope that you've enjoyed. Hit that like button, subscribe. Remember, don't trust a random person on the internet. Do your own research, and I'll see you guys again next time.